Hello and welcome to the Music Shack Podcast. This is episode number 39. You're joined by myself, Bruce,
Ron, and Ed. I'd like to start off this podcast with saying rest in peace to DMX, who we lost Friday. So,
an inspiration to all.
I mean, and the guy was his story was crazy to me. Like, he had, at one point in time, he seemed like no matter what he dropped was going to go gold. Like, and then all of a sudden nobody listened to him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, his story's like nuts to me. But yeah, I remember like in high school, him, Metallica, and Slipknot were in rotation. Like, so. But we want to move on to
checking out the billboards.
Yeah.
We can start off with the Billboard Hot 100. Starting at number 1, we've got Leave the Door Open by Silk Sonic. Number 2, we've got Montero by Lil Nas X. At 3, we've got Peaches by Justin Bieber. Number 4, we've got Up by Cardi B. Number 5, we've got Driver's License by Olivia Rodrigo. At number 6, we've got Save Your Tears by The Weeknd. At 7, we got Levitating by Dua Lipa. Number 8, we got Deja Vu by Olivia Rodrigo. Number 9, we got Blinding Lights by The Weeknd. And at number 10, we got Astronaut in the Ocean by Masked Wolf.
So, moving on. We can jump right into our Billboard 200. We have, at number 1 now, is Justice by Justin Bieber. New entry at number 2 is Demi Lovato with Dancing with the Devil. I can't see the rest of it.
Good job.
But that's Billboard's fault, not mine.
Good job.
Obviously. It's always their fault.
Okay, Ed. Down to number 3 is Soulfly by Rodwave. Up to number 4 is Morgan Wallen with Dangerous, the double album. Man is still top 5 somehow. We have Lil TJ, new at number 5 with Destined to Win. So I assume it's a sequel album because it has the number 2 in it. Staying at 6 is The Weeknd with The Highlights. Staying at 7 is Pop Smoke with Shoot for the Stars, Aim for the Moon. Down to number 8 is Carrie Underwood with My Savior. Number 9 is Dua Lipa with Future Nostalgia. And up to 10 is Luke Combs with What You See Is What You Get.
Okay. Moving on to the artist charts. Number 1 is Justin Bieber. Number 2 is Demi Lovato. Number 3 is Rod Wave. Number 4 is The Weeknd. Number 5 is Drake. Number 6 is Carrie Underwood.
Funny how Drake's in the top 5 for artists, but not anywhere on the other charts.
Yeah, I forget what. Like, I know that there's more than just music that goes into like where people stand on the Billboard charts.
Yeah, because
so
isn't it
if
also...
he's selling merch too,
Probably.
like it adds to it. Like, there's been a lot of footage of him with a few NBA stars for the past couple weeks, so that probably also helped boost the listening of his music in general.
Gotcha.
Did I say number 6 yet?
I don't know.
I am unsure.
Because I got sidetracked. Yeah, it was Carrie Underwood.
Okay, then yeah, you did.
All right. Number 7 is Billie Eilish. Number 8 is Luke Combs. Number 9 is BTS. And number 10 is Dua Lipa.
Billie Eilish. We don't hear her name thrown around anymore.
Not often. But
God, the streaming game is just so out of whack.
well,
It's
I've
crazy.
heard plenty of people call it the microwave era of music.
Yeah.
That's what they refer to what we're living through, because you're a hit for a microwave. Well, for a monosecond, and then, or whatever you want to call it.
However long you can ride that.
Yeah, and then
It's the
Like-
next person.
Roddy Ricch was on fire last year.
Mm-hmm. And now nothing.
Haven't heard a word about the man. You know,
It's weird.
Like, people are forgotten way too quickly nowadays.
Mhm.
Yeah, there's just so much media coming out now, and then
I think
there's-
that's what it is.
And it's so accessible that you can see anything you want and whenever.
Yeah.
yeah, it's definitely an odd thing to witness.
Yes. Or someone can just go from being a star to just being another artist
Yeah,
quickly.
especially like being people that are actually like actively keeping up with it now.
Yeah.
Because at first, as just a listener to music, and you're in the music world, just as someone who consumes it,
Yeah. As a
it's
consumer.
definitely just, oh, it's like, oh yeah, this is new, this is popular, this is what's trending. If you want to be that person, or you stick with what you know, and then you're like, oh, here's a new thing I haven't heard that seems pretty out there, or it's on it's on the up and up, and then it just constantly you're seeing a change every so often.
Yeah.
Now we're seeing a change every month almost,
Yeah.
or almost every other week, depending. So it's an odd change of pace.
The only thing that I'm grateful for is that we're not going through like the 2010 era where everybody went through for the same sound. If they made electronic music, everybody was most people were going for dubstep.
Mm-hmm.
If they were rapping, they were trying to make it as repetitive as possible. If it was rock, they're trying to make it as gritty as possible.
Yep.
Like now
But a lot of-
everybody's working with their own stylings and
But a lot of the music came out of that 2010 era, even and before it. So it's weird how that worked. Like everybody was like, "Oh, let's just do this. This is what's popular. This is the style everyone likes. That's popping off. We're gonna do this."
we're gonna do what everybody else is doing and we're gonna make a hit.
Yeah, more or less.
That
Mhm.
was what they were going for.
It seems like we're still in that though.
We are, yes.
But the style that people are using has changed.
And there's a lot more styles that are being used.
Yes.
It's not like you're getting hit with one style.
Right, which
all
is
the time.
I guess a good thing because there's still some sort of variety to it.
Yeah.
But I don't know, you see it more so in the rap game than you do anywhere else anymore.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
It's like everyone's got like one type of thing they want to do, and then they'll throw out one piece that's a trending style, and then that'll blow up more.
I think it's cool that like some people are trying to do boom bap now because of what is it? Because Griselda's building popularity off of doing boom bap rap, which is pretty much what you heard from 90s rap.
Right, you don't
Like
hear
that's
that
that
anymore.
styling, like, and there's actually artists that are going out of their way to try to do it.
I mean, if you can do it well. That's the only thing I can say. It's like if you're gonna do something and you can do it well, power to you.
Yeah.
That's the whole point of being an artist. Is you want to
Mhm.
do what you think you can do, and if you enjoy it, master it.
I think more artistry isn't about doing things well. I think it's about conveying who you are.
That too.
That's the only thing I don't like about people trying to mimic other people's stylings, because you lose who you are by mimicking somebody else, at least to the listener.
Although right, and then you'll have the rare exception where it's like someone will do something that somebody else has done, but they'll still put their own identity in it by doing their own twist.
Yeah.
And that's how you get these different like subgenres that exist. Like someone took metal, or someone took rock and roll from like the 70s and the 80s and even the 60s, and went like, let's make this
Harder.
heavier. Yeah, let's just dial this up a little bit on the heaviness.
Let's
Which
turn
is-
the bass up.
Which is how we got Metallica, Motley
Yes.
Crue, and all these. And then you just went from there. And now you have all these tens of thousands of subgenres of metal that exist.
What I think is funny is Metallica and Slayer were heavy metal in the 80s,
Yes.
and today we listen to it and go, this is rock, right? Or is this hard rock?
This is thrash now.
Yeah.
It's crazy how just the genres just change over time. Just
Well, the
because
standards are set differently every so often.
Yeah.
As the
because
generations
as the
flip.
standards change, the genres just change as they go.
Yeah. Every like couple generations, the standard flips, and what was colloquially known as colloquially I can't speak. Help me,
I'm not
Bruce.
even going to try. I'm going to get it wrong now.
Colloquially, I can't even. Yeah, locally, pretty much among the people is known as one thing, is now known as a different thing. I can't say the word now. And I know what it is.
It's all good. Do as I do and put it in layman terms.
Which is what I just did.
Or just Edism it out and, well, what you get is what you got. Sorry.
But yeah,
I mean,
so it's
what we have for metal now might be completely different in the future.
What we call metal now. It'd be weird if what we call
what
metal
we call
now.
metal now. People seem to not agree as metal.
Yeah. It's
because
intriguing.
the staple now is metalcore, and people don't see metalcore as metal,
They don't.
which is odd because there's definitely like
Metal
enough-
elements.
Oh yeah, I mean, not so much. Maybe not in the structure of the guitars, because I think that's where a lot of people disagree. That and like there's clean singing, but like, who cares?
I mean, I prefer the mix-up of the cleans.
Right.
Like, but then again, I'm not a true metalhead, so.
Like I can listen to Slaughter to Prevail all day long, and it's good. But I like hearing cleans. I like having beautiful clean vocals alongside my brutality.
Because I like to listen to the brutal stuff all the time. It's awesome. But then there are also the parts where it's just like, I want to sing along, but I can't sing that unless I destroy my voice right now.
Right.
Which is nice to have
Or you
the
could just
clean parts.
Practice. you
Like
know.
Ed's been doing.
I've been practicing other kinds of singing.
Yeah. I would
So-
belt something out, but I haven't been practicing, so.
Yeah, so it's weird how trends are seemingly the same, but like in nuance they're not.
Yeah.
And you got to really like pick it apart if you really want to find the differences. But wow, that was a good tangent actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a very good tangent. We could actually move off of this and go into our feature stuff this week that we brought.
Yes.
Yes.
We don't have a lot, but we have some good
Not
stuff.
a lot for this week.
No.
No, but we do have some good stuff for this week, so it should be substantive. I can't speak today. I just my
Just
grammar's
stick
gone.
to layman's terms, please.
I don't even know what you're trying to say, so I'm not going to try anything.
I think I had it right the first time.
You want to talk about the only album that we had this week?
Sure.
Since someone recommended an EP and somebody else slacked off and recommended singles.
Hey, Google says it's an album.
It's not.
I know it's not an album, but Google says it is.
Never trust Google on everything.
I don't trust Google about anything.
Good.
Google is Lord.
Okay.
And this
Which is-
was your blasphemy segment for the day.
Which is why I trust it to wake me up every morning.
If your phone spontaneously combust into flames, we here at the Music Share Podcast are not responsible.
But yeah.
Oh my god.
So I brought you the brand new album from Termina. Anybody who doesn't know who Termina is, I've talked about them before. This is a guitarist on YouTube. His name is Nick. He goes by Nick Nocturnal. Phenomenal guitarist. The dude is insane.
Mm-hmm.
Him and Andy Sizek had a project they put together 3 years ago called Termina. And the first song they dropped was Lucid. And I think I brought that to you guys
I think so.
initially when we first started doing this. If I didn't, then it was right before it.
All right, so that's why some of the songs sounded familiar.
Yes. And then I also brought you guys The Abyss when that came out, and I also brought you Desolate Spectre, which was the most recent one. Well, the album finally dropped on April 9th, and it is phenomenal, in my opinion. It's so well put together. Everything about it. Like even Nick himself even said on Twitter that and I think on YouTube in the description of like the album drop or whatever, this album is 3 years of work culminated together with every part of their being and every part of modern metal that the two of them like. And I would agree.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many different aspects, there's so many different styles and pacings, structures, you name it. Like there's some old, early 2000s metalcore structure. There's clearly death metal structure throughout the whole thing as a backbone, or like a basis rather. There's There's deathcore thrown in there in terms of vocals. There's all kinds of things. Like Andy's highs are insane. Andy's lows are demonic. His mids are phenomenal. His clean singing is great. Nick just goes insane on the guitar. Even throws out like 2 or 3 solos that are phenomenal. With everything about it is so good. And they don't have an actual drummer or a bassist. It's all digitally tracked, which is insane because it sounds like real drums. Obviously, there are people that can pick apart and tell the differences. I can't. I am not that kind of person.
Okay.
But I think to anybody who listens to it, whether you are a person that can pick it apart or not like that, can say, yeah, that sounds like it could be done. Because everything is so well put together. I have no complaints. I think it's great.
Yeah, overall I thought it sounded good, but for whatever reason it felt like something was missing when I listened through it. But still sounded good. But just I don't know what it is.
I think my favorite has to be either Desolate Spectre or The Abyss. But The Edge of Time is great. Fade Away is phenomenal. Fade Away was actually the last single they dropped right before the album came out. I was gonna give it to you guys, but I was like, I'm just gonna wait for the album. I love everything on this. It's 11 songs.
Say, my favorite was obviously The Abyss.
I love the chorus.
It was just so well made.
I feel like this guy has an obsession with The Abyss. Didn't he recommend an album called The Abyss or something like that? Close to it? I don't know.
Something around that.
I'm lost.
Along those lines.
Maybe.
I love the chorus in that one, and I love the intro riff in that one as well. It's like I said, everything about this I love, because a lot of what I like seems to be a lot of what Nick likes, and just in general what I think people like in modern metal. And they just do a good job at blending it all in the right moments and areas. We even get like a couple bleds out of Andy. I also found out that Andy is the new lead singer for Monuments, which is awesome. And their first song with him is called Dead Nest, and it's really good. So go check that out too.
Any blasts?
I don't remember there's a blast in that one. I only heard it once.
Okay.
But you can tell it's Andy. If you know his voice, you can tell it's Andy, and it's just amazing. But yeah, that is what I brought this week.
All right. We're going to talk about...
Yeah. So I brought along the EP, I Will Be Gone by Primal Fear. It was
good.
Yeah,
yes.
Very good.
The first track was not what I expected at all out of them.
I think we've actually listened to that one a while ago.
I don't recall. You might have. I don't remember doing it.
But it just...
I mean, we listened... We had brought to the table Metal Commando, which was their most recent record. We did that previously.
And I think we...
And just... I don't remember bringing that song up, though. Yeah, it's
just so good.
Based on what we've heard, personally, I did not expect that first track to be that soft. And that, tame.
It was like they were just playing a ballad the entire time.
And then it ramps up to what they normally do.
Yeah. I got a lot of Dio-esque vibes.
I see that.
From this album, which I personally really enjoyed.
Yeah, it was more thrash than power.
Yeah.
But it still had, the power drums.
Oh, there's power elements to it, but...
There's also core elements to it in terms of the riffing. As it went through a couple of songs, it was, in the choruses of, 1 or 2 of them. I don't remember which ones. I listened to them this morning. There was... Definitely some, core elements in terms of the structure of the riffs and how the drums played along with them. So it was very cool to see they blended 3 different genres together in a good way.
Yeah.
Yeah, you said you get a lot of Dio. I got a lot of Metallica and A7X out of the riffing. Some of the drum work reminded me more of Metallica, and then a lot of the riff works reminded me of them and A7X because A7X directly draws inspiration from Metallica. So I kind of got both of them in there.
Mm-hmm.
But mainly Hail to the King for A7X, just because of...
Yeah, I felt that a lot through it.
There's so much in that album that comes out in this EP, I feel. So it's it's simplistic, but it hits the right way. It's groovy. It ramps what it needs to, and that kind of stuff. So, yeah.
And on to the Slackers singles. I brought
Slacker Spotlight.
Yeah.
Slacker Spotlight.
I brought Money on the Table by Belly and Benny the Butcher.
I like this one lyrically.
Yes. Yeah.
I think that was the point of it too.
Mhm.
I think it was more or less to focus on them talking about the subject the subject they were bringing to the table, and more so like the overarching meaning, not anything about anything else.
Yeah. I mean, Griselda's known for their storytelling, and Benny the Butcher is a member of Griselda, so yeah, it's no shock that that's
I
what
like
you
the
got
music
out of
video
this.
for this too.
I didn't see the music video.
It's basically like a white room with 2 white double doors, and literally every piece of furniture in the room is white, and they're in black. And it's like a moving camera. It's like a camera moving backward, basically. And it's in one room it's one of them, and it's the other one, and it alternates. And they do an edit where it's like multiple versions of them in the same room, and like one does one line, one does another set of lines, and that kind of thing. And it goes through the room, like doors open and goes to the room. It's one of the rappers, and then it goes to the next room, doors closed, and then it keeps doing that. It just loops basically.
Hmm.
But every room is one of the other. It's really cool. But yeah, like I said, lyrically, I think it was actually very well put together.
Yes.
Very insightful.
Also had I Only Said Enough by India Jordan. It was very repetitive.
It was.
Yeah.
I more or less enjoyed it for the parts where the music was, because I enjoy it more because I can see how it can be utilized in a set.
Right.
So maybe
it was very much like a DJ song.
Yes.
There was a lot of it's so repetitive, and it's very very upbeat.
Yeah. Like I seen it more. The way I look the way I look at different forms of music is differently. When I'm listening to electronic music, I tend to look at it from how it would sound and how well it would fit into a set.
Yeah,
And
even if it's not like the whole thing, you just break it up and use like just the instrumental part from like either the beginning or like I think it was like in the middle.
you could use the vocals where there's instruments, and there's ways to chop it and cut it to where it would just work and flow and groove. And that's what I liked about it, is I see how it can be used. The repetitiveness, the parts where the music drops completely out and it's just her saying I only said enough, and it's like,
Yeah, it was just I don't know.
but
And then it was a 5-minute song. It's like, oh, why?
because electronic music, come on now, get with it, bro. God.
This is why I'm not an artist.
Anyway, yeah. Why is it gotta be 5 minutes? Anyway, and the last one I thought was fun and kind of rebellious. It was
I like this one actually.
This one
Yeah,
was fun.
it was La 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 by Area 21.
This one was good.
Yeah, it's just a fun rebellious-esque song, like. But
This is my favorite of the 3. Right behind it would be Money on the Table. That would definitely be where I would rank them. But
I can agree with that.
yeah, and that's we like I said, despite not having a lot to talk about, we we still had a lot to talk about in a sense. So it's a lot. I've literally been playing Termina on repeat since the 9th. That's what I've been listening to. So in that segment, that's my answer.
And then, speaking of, we can jump into what we've missed.
Yes,
in the past 2 weeks of what we've missed.
Where I was about to go.
I can say a very good listen is Starship Velociraptor by Galacticraken.
Okay.
It is solid all the way through. I've played a few songs for Ron. I think I played the entire album, actually.
No, I'm not too much of a fan.
I mean, it's just fun, funky grooves the entire way through.
With power drums.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, it's weird.
I mean, it goes all over the place.
Ron
like
comment.
Like it's weird. Like, it's all futuristic, sci-fi, space kind of music, but half the songs are about piracy and sailing the seven seas.
Yeah.
Which I had to say was very interesting for the mix-up of it. And obviously, the one that everyone will talk about is Best Band in the Universe. Which, of course, they sing about being the best band in the universe. And then they bring in Ninja Brian.
Yeah.
And then he shows... and then he gives the best rock and roll the world will ever see.
on a keyboard.
Yes.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's... Like, I get the point of it.
Yeah.
And I get what they're going for, but for me, it's not not something I'll go to.
Especially, but the one song he made, Jetpack Race, fit exactly the mold he was going for of just going fast, having fun, and enjoying it all. Which, he hit the mold very well.
That's always good. I have a list of a couple releases that I didn't go to just because of Termina mainly. And I
said I told everybody to go fuck themselves.
No, seriously.
I had to listen to Termina.
I'm sorry. I knew that was coming out. I'm like, I don't want to put anything else on the table right now. But on April 2nd we had Woad drop Burn in Many Mirrors. On the 9th we also had Devil Sold His Soul with Loss. I almost wanted to check it out.
I checked it out. I wasn't too thrilled with it, but
yeah, I almost went to it. I was almost what you guys got, but I was like, oh wait, Termina. Wait a minute. The Limit dropped Caveman Logic. I like that title.
I love that title.
The Lion's Daughter dropped Skin Show.
Carry on.
And Sweet Oblivion dropped Relentless, and then The Treatment dropped Waiting for Good Luck.
So we have Caveman Logic
and Skin Show
relentlessly involved in a skin show.
Waiting for Good Luck.
Waiting for Good Luck. This,
which ended up in Loss.
Or is this a movie plot? Anyway, is this what we're developing right now? No.
All right.
Reading between the lines of metal album names. I always have something. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's always something.
Some form of weird connection.
Oh, just wait for next week.
Okay.
Oh God.
So while we're on the topic of things we missed, last week the week prior to last week, I recommended an album called Life in Your Glass World. Did you guys get a chance to check it out or not?
I did not.
I don't think I did.
Or I did. I think I went through some of it.
Yeah. Personally, I enjoyed the album. My favorite song on the album is actually the first song on the album, but
that's not always a good start.
Hey, no, I fucking loved it. But the rest of the album's solid, but first song on the album, fucking great, which is Death Dance Approximately.
I don't remember any of it.
No?
No.
Okay.
I think I did like one or two songs. I just don't remember any of it. I gave you guys Beartooth was one of their new singles. They have two now. They have two. I didn't listen to the second one yet, but I gave you guys The Past Is Dead, which is nothing like they've done before.
Mm-hmm.
They're for anybody who knows who Beartooth is and knows their sound, this is not their sound, but it's great. So yeah, there's that. And then Bruce gave us...
And 2 weeks ago, I gave you guys Half a Human by Real Estate.
An album I almost wound up recommending. I actually checked it out.
It was good.
Yeah.
It was good, yeah.
Nice and laid back.
I enjoyed Citizen's album more. That's why you got Citizen.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was a good album.
Yeah, it was solid all the way through.
Yeah, and that is what we missed.
Oh,
Unless you got something else.
There's a few things. We didn't talk about NF's album, which I'm sure you wanted to.
The mixtape?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
Okay, we did. All
I
right.
think we did.
I remember
Was
talking
the
about
same
that.
week?
Yeah, that was the week we missed because one of my coworkers.
Oh yes, it was. So yeah,
had, symptoms.
and I gave you a couple different things. I gave you guys the August Burns Red song that came out, which was Icarus. Thank you for saying that because I completely forgot.
Look at that.
It's ABR. Like they're dropping songs left and right this year, and they're fucking bangers all the way through. Every one of them. I want another album. Like I know it's coming. Clearly it's coming. They still have more music.
It's
They're just
definitely
throwing
coming.
at you. Either we're getting a deluxe edition of Guardians, or we're getting like a B-sides list, or we're just getting another whole new album. I am all for any of those. I also gave you guys a song that features members of Hollywood Undead, called "For the Glory" by All Good Things. It was okay. Like, it was good. It was solid.
Mm-hmm.
It was very much, I think, inspired by Hollywood Undead as to why it was styled the way it was. But it was good. They pop off in this song. I'm sorry. I think they overthrow. I think they overthrow All Good Things. That group. They're a solid group. I think, in my opinion, I think HU literally just outshines them. Charlie drops a verse in a song that is just fucking nuts.
Which is what Charlie does.
Always.
Mm-hmm.
That man, even on like their newer stuff, for being weaker in terms of like its quality, I think it's still good. It just doesn't hold up as well as like older stuff does. Charlie still drops amazing verses. I don't care who you are. That man can rap. And then I gave you guys the NF mixtape that he calls it a mixtape. It's called Clouds. I don't think this is a mixtape, in my opinion. I feel like this is an album. It's so well thought out. It's so much. There's so much effort and so much time and passion put into this, which he does with everything he writes.
Yeah.
I don't think you could call this a mixtape. He may call it a mixtape. I don't think it is. Every song is a highlight.
Yeah. I mean, personally, it wasn't for me, but I could tell from the way that he was rapping, it sounded like he was putting everything he had into it, but it wasn't for me.
And he is dropping another album. Like he even says it like throughout the whole thing. He is dropping an album and it's just not ready yet. So he gave us this in the meantime.
Gotcha.
I mean the singles that we got, which was Clouds, Lost, and Paid My Dues, they're phenomenal. I love them. That's a Joke is fucking great. The delivery on the chorus.
What the fuck?
The delivery on the chorus for that one is just insane. It's so high energy. It's so in your face. And then you have Just Like You, which is I think the last single before the whole thing dropped.
Mm-hmm.
Which is more of a darker tonality in terms of what it means. But it's so good. You have Story. Story is it's a ride. And it's literally a story. Like that's why it's called what it's called. He's talking about waking up one day, going to the store, like going to the convenience store, a little corner store, getting what he wants, and it's in the process of him getting what he wants, the place gets robbed. Like, yeah. It's a ride. definitely, I think, one of the most impactful ones on this. But it's yeah, I don't know. And you have Prideful, yeah. You have Layers, Drifting, Trust featuring Tech Nine, which I think is a weird. I think this is kind of why this one makes me feel like why it's a mixtape, because it's so out of place with Tech Nine.
Mm-hmm.
But it still also fits in a way.
I mean, Tech does conscious stuff too.
He does.
Like he's
Okay. I just think with Tech Nine, it's his pacing and his delivery with everything that it's just, I don't know, it seems different. Yeah. I mean, it ends with Paid My Dues, and then you get an edit of Clouds. So you get that song twice, which is cool because it starts the album
And it finishes it off.
But yeah, no, I am ready for this album whenever it comes out, and you guys will probably get it.
And before we move on, Zed's Dead dropped an album called Catching Disease, which is something that I wasn't ready for.
Oh,
I seen Zed's Dead. I know Zed's Dead from, the dubstep era.
right.
So I wasn't ready for an ambient album. Like it's very ambient. Like good music just have on in the background. But yeah, no real standouts because again, ambient. But
Well, I think that's kind of the point.
yeah,
Although I say that, and then you look at the Halo soundtrack, which is meant to be in the background, but that shit slaps. So I mean, I guess it depends on what you're listening to. I guess like the style that it's in.
Mm-hmm.
speaking of
would matter.
speaking of irrelevant noise,
Yeah.
what we've
Go
been
on.
listening to in our downtime.
That
That was terrible wording there. Right?
great segment. Great segue. Man.
Oh my god.
When are we gonna fire this guy? Anyway,
But if we could, we need him too much though.
I've been listening to Black Bear's Everything Means Nothing.
Okay.
Like I said, I'm not a metalhead. May talk about metal music, but
Blackbeard's
yes,
good though. Not gonna lie, some of his
It's
stuff's
just good stuff.
Some of his stuff is actually really good.
Anyway, yeah, that Architects.
Gee, why am I not surprised? That is, I don't care. That is a phenomenal album.
That album, and they got a song. Oh shit!
I'm just gonna find it.
Hereafter.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Love that fucking song. Yeah, love that song.
It's Architects.
It's like I don't know. Man,
You just can't go wrong with Architects. I feel anyway.
but why are they so good?
That's a good question.
They just are.
It should be against the law to make music that good. Anyway,
Well, then we wouldn't have the majority of the '80s rock we have. So
I mean, people did try to sit there and call them Satan worshippers.
this is true. That is a thing that happened.
Yeah, it happens a lot apparently.
Happens more so today with metal than it did rock and roll, but
I mean, Ozzy.
he's the Prince of fucking Darkness. What do you want?
I don't think we'd say that he wasn't a devil worshiper at least at one point.
Briefly, between all of his drug addictions.
When he was off of all of his drugs, he's like, you know what?
I want to worship
I'm
Satan.
going to worship Satan for a little bit. That's my new kick.
That's his new addiction.
I'm addicted to Satan.
God. Could you imagine?
We here at the Music Shack Podcast are not responsible for any devices spontaneously combusting while listening to this. Anyway,
Yeah, like I said, Termina. I did find two songs from an artist that I listened to very scarcely. He goes by Divide Music. He makes anime-inspired songs, and it's generally like a hard rock feel, power metal feel. Two that I found recently are about Dragon Ball Super. We have one about Broly and one about Beerus, the Universe 7 God of Destruction. It's the one about Beerus is just called God, and then the one about Broly is called Returned. But yes, Ed, you got something to say? Yes, I have not played it. I just have it on my phone.
Okay. Gotcha. What since this is audio, I noticed that there's a DMX. Hold on, let me.
It's the only one that I know.
Gotcha. That album, the Best of DMX,
Mm-hmm.
I had that on every device I owned for a while. And I'm sure it's in my iTunes store still.
Probably if it's the same account.
Yeah. That's a phenomenal album. There's a few songs on it that if I could see the album list, I'd be able to tell you.
Here, give me a second. And I can. Let's see. Well, that was the best of, you said?
Yeah.
That was what, 2003, so I gotta go back. Where is it? Oh, it's not gonna be in albums. It's gonna be in compilations.
Yeah, being compilations. He's got a song on there with Jay-Z and a few other greats.
You guys go.
All right.
Yeah, I only have X Gonna Give It To You, and I only know that one because of Deadpool. Literally, I don't.
Which
The most
people
commercial
do.
song
Yes.
by him, yes.
Like I'm not gonna be, you know, what's the word?
You and your words today.
Yeah.
You're struggling.
I had a long day at work.
Same here.
Front runner, that's the word. I'm not gonna be a front runner. Like I get the appreciation. Like I understand who he was, the amount of success he had in like the integral parts of his music as to why we have what we have now. In some ways, it's like I get that. I appreciate that, and it sucks that he's gone. But I only know the one song.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I could say I've always been a fan of him just because of what I've heard about how nice of a guy he is and how much he actually cares about people.
Right.
Yeah, he great guy outside of music.
And then it gets
His music's very violent and brutal, but
yes.
that's why I said outside of music.
This man will take care of you for the rest of your life, and then he'll...
You also fuck your shit up. You do the wrong things.
What is it? So, yeah, Get At Me Dog featuring Chic Luch.
Okay.
Love that song. ASAP Rocky, actually ASAP Ferg did a remix of it with ASAP Rocky called Pups.
Okay.
And I enjoy both versions. The original's obviously the one I enjoy more with DMX and Chic Luch, but put DMX and Chic Luch on track, it's hard to beat.
Well, there's a lot on that too.
A lot of really good ones. One More Road to Cross. That's a good one. Let's see here. What else? But DMX is on this.
Yeah, just looking at that set list, there's a lot. This was 2003, by the way.
Oh,
Get It
boy.
on the Floor. Oh no, this was dropped in 2010. This compilation.
Okay.
Grand Finale. DMX, Ja Rule, Method Man, and Nas. That one was nuts. And Blackout with Jay-Z and the Lox. Another fucking crazy song. But my favorite DMX song of all time is Stop Being Greedy.
Yeah.
Like, flat out. Just
It's a great title, actually.
because I feel like I can fucking relate. 1 second, he's sitting there and he's rapping about how he, wants more out of life. Like, how he wants the big car and the house and everything like that. Next second, he's like, fuck it. I want to break somebody's face. And it just feels relatable to me.
Gee, I wonder why.
I couldn't see that at all.
Couldn't piece that one together.
Previous episode, we talked about how we all psychopaths. Anyway. But yes. Yeah. Fucking. That's why I love Stop Being Greedy, but I feel like it's the most relatable song out of his entire catalog. At least to me. But that's neither here nor there.
What about you, Bruce? Where have you been?
Well,
Drunk, so you're going to bash his head wide open?
maybe. I don't know.
Begging for you to stop,
But-
but he wished at least he died hoping?
I'm just going to pretend I know what
Casually
you're
as
talking
Ed
about.
just quotes a song.
I'm just going to pretend I know what he's talking about. But, the past like 2 weeks, I've been listening to a lot of Starship Velociraptor. Because I just love that all the way through. plenty of Starkill, you know, all the good stuff. I've been getting into Fleetwood Mac.
Really?
Yeah.
You know what? I actually, with you, I can't be surprised at that.
Because
With Clapton?
Tusk was the first one I heard, and it got me to listen to more.
Okay. Was that Fleetwood Mac?
I don't know. I'm foggy on that one too. I don't care for Fleetwood.
I know Clapton moved around a lot.
Yeah, I'm not too big on Fleetwood, so I don't really know.
But that one, I've been getting into that a good amount recently. And one that I've been loving a lot that I didn't think I would love when I first heard about it was Montero.
I think I heard it once because you played it.
I think you might have heard it once from me.
Yeah, because I was over at your house and you played it once. It's good.
Yeah, it's very good. I like it. I like the message he portrays in it.
Yeah, that is kind of what he does.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't think
And then,
Clapton was in this.
Obviously, there's...
All right.
Actually, today I've listened to pretty much everything that Brothers of Metal have put out.
Okay.
So it's been interesting the past few weeks.
When we ready for the news?
News.
Because I have some news, a couple of weeks worth, just saved casually on my phone.
There are some pieces of news that are no longer relevant because other news made it not relevant anymore.
Yes.
As is the news.
Yes.
Yes.
But it's called news.
Because it's no longer new.
So.
Gee.
I passed the 5th grade.
Wow.
If that's
Anyway.
5th grade, I'm sorry.
Kid Cudi was the musical guest on SNL,
Oh.
and he decided to pay tribute to Kurt Cobain by wearing a floral dress during one of his performances.
Okay.
What he says.
Okay. That's random.
All right.
That's probably the tribute because it's random. Knowing because of Kurt Cobain, like I don't know. I'm trying to make sense of that. That's odd.
Yeah.
Fair warning, I don't have any news. I've been busy with work and I have not had time to look anything up. And because we had to hold off for the last 2 weeks, I have not been able to. I've not had a need to go look for things. As throwing that out.
Yeah. Here's here's something I found out about today. The article was launched this morning. Rakim apparently said in an interview that he actually checks for new music from Lil Baby, Kendrick Lamar, and J. Cole.
Really?
Yeah,
That's interesting.
like Rakim,
Yeah, you don't hear about
like
you don't hear about an artist, let alone somebody as legendary as Rakim,
yes,
looking for new music actively.
yes,
Like, it's not every day you get to hear an artist's or a musician's like go to as to what they listen to when they're not making their own music,
yeah,
which is really cool to learn though, because there's a lot of what you don't expect from certain people.
yes. I remember I went through Spotify did this thing and they had like artist playlists.
They used to have artist playlists.
And like I was going through Lars's set and seeing Bob Marley in there and like a few other softer acts, and I'm like, what the? Okay.
Yeah, I think Hollywood Undead, a couple of them had like Christian. Well, and I guess I could say Christian, like there's Christian rock on it, but like Johnny Three Tears is, I think he's actually faithful. Hence why he has a lot of spiritual and religious context in his work, in his lyrics. But I think there was blues on there at one point for one of them, and I was like, okay, that's a bit of a loop. So yeah, but like Rakim of all people that we got to, like I don't know, that's just cool.
I just find it like I personally respect Lil Baby for his lyrical abilities, and I always said that I feel like most people who are like true hip hop heads would sleep on Lil Baby because of the auto tune and the, you know, Lil before his name.
Right, but when you actually like
Rakim checks for the guy, like
right, if
it's like
you have
damn,
that says something.
Yes. I'm like, damn, what the originator of lyricism, like, actually checks for Lil Baby. What?
Yeah, if you're on his radar, you're doing something right. I don't care who you are. I may not like your music, but you're doing something right if you're on Rakim's radar.
Yes.
Like,
He's well, he says he's looking for more mature hip hop, which
Okay.
Lil Baby's been moving towards a more mature sound. You got Kendrick, who's been conscious since he started rapping. You got Cole, who's been conscious since he, started rapping. So,
I mean, it's J. Cole.
yeah.
It's kind of hard to not look for that, I guess.
Ready for some more shocking stuff involving rappers?
Sure.
Go right ahead.
Rage Against the Machine is set to go on tour with Run the Jewels in
What?
2022.
Oh,
That's an odd set.
Yes.
That's gonna be weird.
Interesting.
That's gonna be a weird one.
You guys know about Satan Shoes, I imagine.
Yeah,
Lil
Yes.
Nas X's
Yes.
Satan Shoes.
know
Yeah.
all about it.
How Nike's banning sales or whatever. But I don't know.
Solely because of the fact that it still has the Nike logo on it.
Yeah.
But it's interesting because they're stopping this, but they didn't stop other custom shoes from being sold before. Like,
They
They
actually
had-
did. An executive's son was making knockoff Nike exclusives, and I think they fired him. But yeah,
because I think it was the same company that made the custom shoes for Lil Nas X. Like years ago, I think if I remember correctly, they made like holy shoes or something like that, and those went without a hitch, from what I remember, which is interesting. But
I just want to know, like, what, like the whole thing, like, I get it, the symbolism and everything, but the blood in the bubble,
that's an interesting one.
under the heel of the shoe, that's the part that got me. I'm like, okay,
It's like, yeah, I can see everything, but that seems above and beyond. Like,
yeah, like
whose blood is that?
your beliefs are your beliefs, but you want to put a red substance in the bubble of a shoe and claim it to be human blood? That's intriguing. Like that's to me that's a little far, but
Yeah.
yeah. So I don't know if there's been any updates on this because it's been a couple weeks since I found this article. But I read an article on Loudwire saying that in Barcelona, they're allowing 5,000 people to attend a COVID-19 live show experiment.
Oh? It all sounded good until you said experiment, and then I'm not so sure anymore.
So the idea is they want to know, how, if they can do a thing with 5,000 people and see what it would go for. Like, see how the virus would spread or not with obviously negative testing people.
Okay.
But the tickets went for $23. $23 to be trapped in somewhere, potentially getting COVID-19. Sounds worth it.
Sounds like a steal to me.
Yeah. Yeah. Sign me up.
And as long as there's music with it, it's even better.
There we go. So Ron cut himself, and I guess cut himself from the show at the same time.
I guess so. Do we even want to bring up NFTs?
Sure, why not? Like, we're wasting time.
Leave Britney Alone video is sold as an NFT for $44,000.
Jesus Christ, can we not?
Oh,
Why did I say okay? Why did I say okay? Sorry, I've read an article that Jeezy and a name I don't want to say, are getting into the NFT game. And I'm just like, why? Supposedly
why?
Snoop Dogg's already involved in it.
Yeah, there's a lot of big artists that are already into it. 'Cause, I mean, it has the possibility to make a lot of money, but
I gotta find out what it is.
it... Do you need an explanation, or do you know what it is?
I have no clue.
So do you know what Bitcoin is?
Yes.
An NFT is basically the same thing. It's a non-fungible token to say basically like, all right, so this one thing does not have a set value. So like it's like, oh, you go to a store, one Pepsi can is cost this, and there's like a bunch of them, and they're like called fungible or something like that. And the non-fungible items are basically say, oh, this is one of a kind. This doesn't have a set value. It's priced at whatever we think it should be. So then that's kind of what it is. And then you have like an art piece that you attach the token to say, yes, this is the original art piece. And then it goes into the blockchain to say, yeah, this is totally it. You have it.
And
so people have been using it to sell like you can sell like the first cut of an album or something like that. Or you sell the image and it's like, yeah, everyone has the image, but I own the image. It's weird.
like you fully own the album artwork? Like
It's like you know how there's all these Mona Lisas, like anyone can make one, but then the one by Da Vinci is unique, and that's what makes it so interesting because it's by Da Vinci. That's basically what an NFT is basically saying, yeah, all these are like, yeah, there's 500 pictures of this dog on the internet, but this one, yeah, that's definitely the original. And now you own it because you own the NFT of it.
yeah, I gotta do more reading into it.
Yeah,
Because it just sounds nuts to me.
it definitely is nuts.
Okay. Alright, cool.
And from what I've been reading, it seems to be a scam for a lot of people because you have to pay to even get an NFT tag for something.
A scam? In 2021? Nah.
Impossible.
We don't scam people today.
It's just so much money has been going into it, and
That's-
so many people trying to make NFTs are just getting nothing out of it.
That's just something Kodak Black raps about. It's not at all a real thing.
Can't be real.
Can't
Not
be
at
real.
all.
They keep
It's
trying
not, It's not like Pinocchio.
they keep trying to make me overpay for protection I don't need. Shut the fuck up, Norton.
Stop trying to sell me insurance.
Or who?
Oh my god. Oh.
Oh man. Alright. So, our upcoming albums, which are dropping Friday, April 16th. That is where we're at.
Yes, sir.
Who wants to start this off?
I guess I can start.
Okay.
From the list I have, we have Bewitcher is dropping Cursed by the Kingdom, or Cursed Be Thy Kingdom. Cannibal Corpse is dropping Violence Unimagined. Escape the Fate is dropping Chemical Warfare. I may check that out. Greta Von Fleet is dropping The Battle of Garden's Gate. Supposedly they sound nothing like Led Zeppelin now.
Oh, I was
Which
wondering why they're on your list.
Supposedly they don't sound the same exact same. Or was it Led Zeppelin or Led Zeppelin, right?
Yeah.
Okay. The Vintage Caravan is dropping Monuments, and While She Sleeps is dropping Sleep Society.
That's a creepy name.
I already know which one you guys are getting, and I may check one of these other ones out.
Okay.
All right. So, Brian Softwell is dropping Dirty Dancing.
Ooh.
We got
Isn't that a
Coinsy.
movie?
Yes,
Yes.
it happens.
And Coinsy's dropping See That Boy. Eddie M is dropping Like a Bee.
Not me.
I'm on
Definitely
B.
not you. Heritage is dropping Sin City.
Sin City.
Halcyon is dropping Living in Metaphors. Hyder's dropping Don't Stop. Like is dropping Stay With Me. Pierce is dropping Year of the Wobble.
Oh.
Reese is dropping Prevail.
That was 2008, 10. They're 11 years late.
We got Roxy dropping Break It.
Break what?
I don't know. I'm going to have to listen to find out.
Okay.
Scooter's dropping God Save the Rave.
Scooter. The names.
2 Feet is dropping Max Mako's Dead, right? And then Zeno is dropping Drum Goes Deep.
Drum Go Dumb?
Boom.
Ooh.
Okay. Now get the wobble in there. Alright, cool.
We made dubstep.
Oh,
Let me not. I respect the subgenre.
He respects the craft.
I respect it. Okay,
He dabbles.
run through my iTunes. Believe me, I respect the craft.
Alright, Ed, what do you got?
Well, I'm done disrespecting dubstep, if that's what you're asking. On to disrespecting hip hop. Anyway, yeah. So this is according to Hip Hop DX. The album's scheduled to drop the 16th. Season of 7 is the name of the album. That's being dropped by Bronze Nazareth and Recognize Ali.
Okay.
Big Scar is dropping Big Grim Reaper.
No.
Kenny Mason is dropping Angelic Hood Rat Supercut
Maybe that's how we got the big scar.
from the Angelic Hood Rat Supercut.
Who happens to be the big Green Reaper? We're making storylines.
Conway the Machine, a member of Griselda. I feel like I've said that name a few times tonight.
You have.
Okay. Is dropping La Manquina.
Let me see it. La Maquina.
Okay, there we go. My English is terrible. AJ Tracy is dropping Flu Game. Young Thug is dropping Slime Language 2. That sounds like something I'd actually be able to speak. Yellow Wolf and DJ Paul are dropping Slum Mafia
Yellow Wolf's dropping new music.
with DJ Paul.
Okay.
So I'm definitely checking it out. Mainly
Mainly
because
because it's DJ Paul.
wow. Okay. Fuck you, Ron. I ain't allowed to speak. On to the outro.
Oh.
Ron's drinking.
Go ahead.
All right.
But yeah. So I guess that's gonna wrap up episode 39 of the Music Shack podcast.
Indeed it will.
We had a short unintended break, but that's okay. It gave us a lot more to talk about.
Yes.
Which is always nice.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. If you're new, then feel free to feel free to go check out the rest of what we have. I can't speak today. That's just that's
Hey.
it.
Normally that's me.
I know.
Or me.
That's always you.
It's always him.
So I'm going to learn this slime language.
Why are you so high up in volume? I
But-
can't hear myself.
If you want to keep up to our shenanigans a little bit more frequently, you can follow us over at Twitter on @MusicShackPod. Try to keep you up to date as much as possible.
We are on all major listening platforms for podcasts, not just YouTube. YouTube is our main source, but you can also find us on Apple Music, and you can find us on Spotify and wherever else you may go to for the most part. So, yeah, thank you guys for tuning in, and we will see you next week with more noise.
Dirt. As always, player, one love. Mosh and rave responsibly. And as he said, enjoy the noise. Or apparently in this case, no noise.
The silence.
Awkward.